What is up, everybody, and welcome to Studio de Jeffrey. Camera game, right? Camera game right here. What's going on, everybody? We heard from Jerry Jones for the first time in forever, so that was fun. That was fun. What up, Jeff? You still have your pigtails, buddy? No, but I can do the pigtails, or I can try to. I don't know if I have enough. No, I only have one hair tie on me at the moment. No pigtails at the moment. And no blazer either, as was asked. No blazer. I did not wear a blazer for Bob Sturm. I wore a blazer because I was coming back from doing the Star at night and being on TV. I'm a giant TV star, and I was doing TV. That's why I was wearing a blazer. Big fan from the UK. Look at Cameron. Congrats on being your own boss. Thanks. Yeah, it's great. Nobody yells at me. Nobody yelled at me at the fan either, but it is pretty sweet. It's like, hey, what are you going to do today? Maybe something. Maybe nothing. It was on the G-Bag stream. It's weird still. I love those folks jumping from Vach to Jeff. I do not condone jumping from Vach to Jeff. I do not condone that. Although I appreciate you being here. So lots of stuff from Jerry. So I thought what I would do is I would read it as Mr. Jones. We can get caught up on what Jerry's talking about today and if he's a crazy person or not. Jerry number one. Jerry was asked, are they going to select an offensive lineman early in next month's draft? And he said, and I quote, now the he didn't say, but I have to say to get to his voice. Famous last words. We'll get one unless Lamb or Parsons is there. So that's pretty sound. Of course, it's just Jerry telling you what I already told you, right? Where it's like, and I'll get to Jerry spitting the Randy Gregory story because I do have his quote on how that conversation went. And I can tell you that's not exactly how that conversation went. Conversation did not go with Jerry using his stupid El Paso. He used much different words with Randy and his agent when he realized that they were not going to be in Dallas. So the Cowboys, this is just sound draft strategy. I still think it's very possible they're going to sign an offensive lineman, because I know that they don't want Connor McGovern as a starter. You know that they don't want Connor McGovern as a starter. So, they're going to take an offensive lineman early unless something crazy happens and something falls in their lap that they absolutely love. And they say, nope, this player's too good, can't pass. And that is a good thing to have going in the back of your mind. What would also be a good thing is signing somebody so that you weren't sitting there waiting to take an offensive lineman at 24. But one of their first 2 to 3 picks is going to be an offensive lineman. That's going to happen. What's your take on the slap at the Oscars? See, so this turned into like a serious thing on Twitter. So I'm going to be careful with this. I think 9 things about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. 1, that was not staged. It was very real. 2, he didn't even really realize what the joke was. He was just doing the I'm at the Oscars and we're having a good time. And then I think his wife was like, hey, that wasn't funny and you need to do something about it. And he was like, you got it. And 3, I think it was my buddy John Williams on Twitter who said, what happened at the Oscars is like what would happen in real life for a lot of people who are on Twitter. The way that you talk to and about people. If you were in real life, there would be consequences for some of the things you say. So if you have to be on a team, I'm probably on Team Will Smith. I think Chris Rock didn't do his prep, so he didn't know the reason that Jada Pinkett had short hair. But I mean, if you want to dig into all of what I think Will Smith is tired of people talking crazy about him for a long time. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Cowboys getting Bobby Wagner for 1 year, $11 million. See, people always jump in here and say things that are supposed to be like breaking news. And every time it's something that's totally made up. So let me go see where this is coming from. No. He wants $11 million on a 1 year deal. And according to Peter King, I mean, why not? If you're the Cowboys, hell, they had $14 million a year earmarked for Randy Gregory. Give him $8 million with $3 million in winning incentives. How about that? What's your thoughts on a cheap Anthony Brown signing? My thoughts are an Anthony Brown signing would be entertaining as hell. But man, I would be terrified. Just know he's not going to finish the year on your team because mental health guy here, that's a guy who could use some help insists that he couldn't. He's going to be a problem until he gets it figured out. The Anything for a Bit Dallas Cowboys podcast. Thanks for the super chat, brother. First live show I've caught since you went solo. Keep doing your thing, my guy. All right, onward. Next, Jerry Jones. Jerry on how Dak could make the most of a healthy offseason. My wish would be for him to get as much time throwing to our receivers as he can this offseason. There's an area where we're limited because of repetition and that type of thing. That's the thing you don't have to worry about with Dak. They're already doing captain workouts out at the Star, so like he's already out there. You don't have to worry about Dak doing a bunch of reps with players in the offseason. What you need to worry about is Dak throwing the ball too many times in the offseason. My man was on a scooter with one leg out there firing darts, and that's why probably he irritated his shoulder in camp, is because your guy Dak doesn't know how to not work. I wouldn't worry about how much time he's going to spend with people. I would worry that he's going to do too much, like he did with his ankle and had to have another surgery, and like his shoulder. Antoine, Jeff, I said I didn't want to know your Will Smith take because I didn't want to not like you. I heard I love you. Yeah, see, I don't want to. People try to take it real serious. A lot of people are like, you're a mental health guy. How dare you? And I'm like, how dare I what? Say that if you said something about my wife and I was in the room, I might slap you? You can get slapped in the world when you talk about people's family. And I get it. Comedian. Maybe Will Smith's a little unhinged. People have been talking about him for a long time. There's been some stuff. But you say stuff, somebody might come see you. Do you think if Dak repeats the second half of last year, he's going to be on the hot seat? Yeah, but he won't. I wouldn't worry about that. They obviously won offensive line at 24. How close of a second place is wide receiver? Pretty close. Draft a month away. Yes, Sparks. Hello to my YouTubers, or my Twitchers, and my YouTubers. Next Jerry quote. Is the Cowboys roster talent today in worse shape than it was last season? Jerry said. Well, this time last year, we didn't have Micah Parsons, but yet we got better. I like where we're at right now compared to this time last year. And I really do, and I did, and I do, and I will, and I have, and we do now, but I do relative to we do. So yeah. It's going to be hard for this team to be better on paper than they were a year ago. That's going to be hard. But their thinking is that Amari Cooper wasn't a $20 million player and that they can be more effective with that money. And their thinking, the Gregory one's the interesting one because in theory, and what Jerry told you today is he said El Paso, like, nope, we weren't going to give them what they wanted. Yeah, you were. Your team Twitter account tweeted out that you had a deal done. So you didn't El Paso. You got El Paso'd on. And then you got real mad about it. And we're really mean on the phone. But yeah, you kick ass in the draft. You make the right signings like they did a year ago. I am a firm believer they can be a better team than they were this year, next year. I'm not a firm believer that on paper they're going to have a better team because on paper they will not have better pass rushers, wide receivers, and those are two really premier positions. So you're not going to be better on paper, but you can be better because you figure out and remember how to block and your quarterback doesn't have a 5-week stretch of pretty bad football. You can do that. You can be better. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones on not returning Amari Cooper, who was going to have a $22 million cap hit. We made a decision that that allocation could be, and was, and will be, and should be better spent on somebody and stuff. So, but we already knew that, right? Jerry on taking a hard look at the top 10 or 11 highest paid players and their impact on the field. We have to make sure that any of those players are pulling as much weight as they can. Number 2, you got to be judicious how you add a top 10 paid player. which is really just an admission that they have erred on who they've paid and when, and we're looking for ways out of contracts that when they signed them, they thought, hey, these are going to be some of our best players. And suddenly, oh no, they're not. Let me see here. But why slap, throw a punch like a man? Because then you're going to catch a real assault charge. You know? Slap, you can look at and be like, do you think Will Smith would have slapped The Rock? See, I don't support that take either. Because The Rock would have done prep work and wouldn't have made a short hair joke about somebody with a medical condition that's the reason they have short hair. He wouldn't have made the joke. Chris Rock did. Probably because he didn't realize it, but I bet he realizes it today. And he took it well. What a professional. 57 years old. Good form. Good follow through, but I think it was more finger than palm, so it wasn't really a tough one. Do you think the Cowboys will sign a DT? I would take a flyer on Akeem Hicks or Eddie Goldman if I were them. That's from Marcus Hughes. Thank you in the super chat. Defensive tackle right now, they have Osa, Neville Gallimore, Tristan Hill, and Quentin Bohanna, and they brought back Carlos Watkins. They have 5 right there. I don't even think you're going to carry 6. If you knew you could upgrade, it would probably cost Quentin Bohanna a spot on the roster. And Watkins isn't safe either. He's signed, but he's not safe either. Next, Jerry. Where did I get to? Oh, yeah. Now here's his comedy routine, I think. This is from Michael Gelkin, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. Well, I'm very proud of our workplace culture, extraordinarily proud. We have great systems. We have great HR. I'm proud to say the sophistication of our HR was ahead of its time. You paid over $2 million because the head of your PR was all up in the, man, just what? You can't just, our HR. Does he just mean they had computers in the human resource department before other people? Like Gil Brandt back in the day was the first guy to put the computers in? Maybe that's what he means. Because he certainly doesn't mean that their workplace culture is great when the guy at the very top of that thing is creeping around being a creeperson creepy. And you got to cut checks to cover for creepy creeperson. Jeff, you going to be watching G.I. Jane 2? Yeah, I would. I'd watch G.I. Jane 2. Boy, Demi Moore was smoking hot in G.I. Jane. It's Will Smith. If he got arrested, he's got... Yeah, it'd be fine. Yeah, he'd be fine. He'd be fine. Okay. All right. A lot of comments on Will Smith. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. In recent weeks, this is from David Moore. Jerry Jones has seen a $2.4 million settlement come to light, been hit with a paternity suit, and spoken at the funeral of his beloved assistant, Marilyn Love. By the way, I loved Marilyn. She was great. It's been a lot. Quote, I want to get it all out of the way by the time I'm 80, which is in a few months. What does that mean? What does get it out of the way mean? In the next few months, I mean, I guess he wants to get the paternity suit out of the way. Like the human person that you may or may not be the father of isn't going to go away in the next few months. And if she does, we're going to have bigger questions. And Jerry was asked about Alexandra Davis, 25-year-old woman who claims that Jerry's her dad. He said, that's personal. That's personal. Now, where's the wild ass one? Hold on. There was a wild ass one where he was talking about, I'll get it. Where's the one? Damn it. He said something super wild ass where it was like, he drew a parallel that like, I want people to talk about our team. So it's great that people are talking about my potential fun baby. What? I don't know, man. I don't know. They still have those same computers, I bet. They use them in free agency. Very possible. How'd the pool feel this weekend? It felt great. My Twitcheroonies. What else did we have? Do we have anything else from Jerry that I wanted to do? I think that's everything that I noted down. That's everything that I noted down. I thought maybe Hellman said something that I wanted to acknowledge. Oh, yeah. The one other thing. That's the El Paso one. But he said with Randy Gregory that without him, he said, we got at least 3 more top players with what we would have spent there. What's he talking about? What's he talking about? I think it's a valid debate about Randy Gregory. Like, is he a star player or is he a player that you're hoping is becoming a star player and that you would rather spend money elsewhere? I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. We can debate that. And maybe they view it as, because I'm trying to think who are the 3 top players that he's getting because he doesn't have Randy Gregory at $14 million a year. He said we're going to get 3 top players instead. And I don't think he's talking about upcoming signings. So we have to go with people who have already been signed, which means Jerry Jones is saying the 3 top players are Jaron Kearse, Dorrance Armstrong. That's like 12 and a half. And Dante Fowler or Brian Anger, the punter. Those are, and I do think those are debatable. Like, would you rather have Dorrance Armstrong, Jaron Kearse, and your good punter, or would you rather have Randy Gregory? That's a fun debate. But Jerry's phrasing just cracked me up. That's 3 top players right there. Like, they just signed Bobby Wagner and Zadarius Smith and J.C. Treader to play center. That's wild. I don't care what Shannon Sharp says, Dan. Shannon Sharp works with a bunch of frauds. So if Sky Moore somehow slipped them the second and they didn't take him, are you going to start covering the Giants? Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. I go where Sky goes. I'm also a part-time Bengals fan. I've been talked into it by people like Hellman because all the LSU there, and I support my friends' teams. So I was like, all right, I could go with the Bengies. And then Lyle Collins went there, and I was like, oh, okay, I could go more Bengies. So I like the Bengies now. They're one of my other teams. Where was the other one? Jeff, what's the biggest weakness on the Cowboys roster? They don't have a starting left guard, and they don't have a starting third receiver. You can't convince me that James Washington is a starting third receiver. And the thing about receiver is, as Jerry mentioned today, and I believe it was it Machota, John Machota, one of the beat writers, who said, I wouldn't be surprised, basically, if you don't have Michael Gallup the first 4 weeks of the season as he keeps recovering. And so if you don't have Michael Gallup for, let's say, a month of the year, and you haven't taken a receiver in the first 2 or 3 rounds that's starting NFL caliber as a rookie, then your receiving core is going to be CeeDee Lamb, James Washington, and Noah Brown? I ain't trying to start a season like that. Why is James not a capable third wide receiver? I would just say what in the history of his NFL career points to that he is. The one thing I would entertain is that he's been with a quarterback who has no right arm, so he can't throw it down the field. And Washington, in theory, because he was in college, is a down the field guy. But nothing about James Washington and his opportunities in the NFL has pointed to starting caliber player. I'm going to give you his catch percentage in each year. When the ball has been thrown to James Washington as a rookie, it was a completion 42% of the time. 2019, 55% of the time, then 53, then 54. So never more than 55% of targets has he caught. And then let's do, I don't know, you want to do CeeDee Lamb? CeeDee plays some slot. But CeeDee Lamb catch percentage 66.7, 65.8. Washington's never been over 55. Let's see Michael Gallup. It's like Michael Gallup outside, downfield, all of those things. And yeah, 58.5, 56.2, 56.5 with deeper targets than Washington. So that's all I would say, is that nothing in his NFL history tells us that he is. If you want to believe, you can believe. I don't want to take away your belief. Hopefully he's good. It'd be great if he's good. Between Zion Johnson, Kenyon Green, and Tyler Linderbaum, who has the lowest floor and who has the highest ceiling? Oh, man, they're all so good. I can't even nitpick that because I think technically Tyler Linderbaum might be the answer for lowest floor and highest ceiling. Because is it possible that he's short and short armed and it turns out that he's not going to be a good NFL center? I guess it's possible. And is it possible that those things don't matter and who he was in college is who he is in the pros and he's the best center in the league? Yeah. Kenyon Green, Zion Johnson. I would say Zion Johnson might have the highest floor where I'm pretty darn sure that dude ain't busting. How is Jay Glazer's book? Good. Thank you to Kay Matney subscribing on the Twitch-a-rooney. Love that. Love that for me. Celebration time. Any thoughts on Sam Williams, edge Ole Miss? I think I talked about him the other day. He's not bad. I think he's like a third round guy, but Dan Quinn was there working him out, and there appears to be interest there. Is there any player that if they fell to 12 to 15, you would trade a first to move up to take? That could realistically fall to there? I don't think so. You're talking to Captain Trade down. I hate trading up. Anybody I would go up for? Maybe if one of the top offensive tackles made it to 12 to 15, but I don't count Penning in that group. But I still don't think I would. 2 number ones to pick one of those guys? No. What happened to your daily show? Laughing face? I tell you. So at first I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this very regimented 1 hour live show 5 nights a week. And it took all of 3 or 4 days to be like, wait, that defeats the entire effing purpose of what I'm doing. Because what I was doing is sweet, sweet, glorious freedom. And a lot of people like the 10 to 12 minute videos that are recorded and uploaded that they can just watch and get succinct things of the day or whatever. And then some people would like to interact with a live show. But do I have to strictly schedule when I'm going to go live? No. No, I don't. No, I don't. Jeff, will the Cowboys take a wide receiver, you think? Absolutely. They will take a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds. 3 of their first 4 picks will be on offense. 1 will be a receiver, 1 will be an offensive lineman, and 1 will be a tight end or an offensive lineman. Because right now, you ain't hearing nothing about a long-term deal with Dalton Schultz, and they're doing a lot of work on tight ends. So I'm getting ready to figure out which one they're going to take. What's your level of concern on Tyron and his terrible performance against the Niners? That is a tough one because I don't know. He still had a good year, but towards the end of the year, it wasn't as good. And the last game of the year in the playoffs was bad. So was that a remnants of the Cove? Was like what? How do we explain a drop off real quick at the end of the year? I just don't know. Zion and Pickens, who else do you need to feel like it's an A-plus draft? You could get me maybe a linebacker, maybe one of the Georgia guys, maybe like Channing Tindall in the 3rd. Maybe Trey McBride, Colorado State tight end in the 3rd. I watched Cade Otton because I heard that they might be interested in him, the Washington tight end. Meh. At least he has a lot of experience blocking. Cowboys drafted DT, you think? We need to upgrade a DT? I don't know because you're looking at on the roster right now, what is Tristan Hill, Neville Gallimore, Osa? That's a 2, a 3, a 3 that all play the same position, a 2nd-round pick, a 3rd-round pick, a 3rd-round pick. If you throw another 3rd-round pick at it, do you think he's going to beat out the guys who have been in the NFL already off of those that were picked at the same place? I don't know. So if you feel like you're going to upgrade your roster, sure. I just don't know how many guys they're going to feel like do that. What are your thoughts on Chad Muma? Love me some Chad Muma. What is that, Wyoming? Small school linebacker, but dude's a baller. Dude can cover. Dude can play forward, backward, all over the place. Find the ball. Good. You think Dak will be better next year even though he had good stats last year, Jeff? Yes, because I don't think Dak will have a 6-game stretch where he plays 5 bad football games. I think that was just tied into ankle injury plus calf strain equals 6-week slump of Dak. Not good. Not good, not good. All right, I think I'm good here. What am I doing? I don't really have a plan. Can you guys leave in the comments what TV show I should watch? I'm thinking about The Last Kingdom. I need to look at Josh Pascal today. Maybe I should watch tape today, Rick. It's a good point. I haven't watched Pascal yet. Where does Quay Walker go? Any chance he falls to 56? I would bet that Quay Walker is a top 40 to 50 pick, probably top 40. But if he gets to 56, do it. Quay Walker is a good player. Quay is a good player. You like better Mechie or Pickens? Pickens by a little bit. I love George Pickens because I like his physical gifts better. Mechie's more polished. Watch Snowfall. I saw the first season of Snowfall a long time ago. Last Kingdom's good so far in season 3. Okay. Burks greater than Pickens. Burks is a red zone receiver, which when did I compare them? I think I have Burks over George Pickens, but George Pickens is one of my favorite second-round receivers. He's fun. Offensive guard Ingram in the 2nd round, linebacker 3rd round, tight end 4th round. I'll take that draft. Jameson Williams, Devontae, Wyatt, Linderbaum, all available at 24. Who you taking? Linderbaum or Jameson? Wyatt would be 3rd. Last Kingdom is really good. Is The Last Kingdom based on books? I'll figure it out. You're lucky you don't have kids because I'll be watching Blue's Clues tonight. Oh, yeah, I bet Blue's Clues is awesome, though. I bet you have a great time. Yeah, I won't be watching Blue's Clues. It's weird. Like today, I rode my bike. I went on a bike ride around White Rock Lake. I went on 2 walks to catch Pokemon. And yet, I'm like, what else? What do I do? I figure out how to fill these days. Should the Cowboys sign Akeem Hicks? Sure. Last Kingdom is based on books. Okay, I need to look up the books. Why would I do that while I'm talking to you guys? I'm just going to go, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to go. I hope you guys have a great day. Leave in comments anything that you need to, anything you want to hear about things and stuff and the things. All right, rock and roll. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody so that you don't get slapped. That's a bad joke, and I shouldn't have made it.